How do you know the best place for the camera in a shot? What is the optimal way to communicate the story you are trying to tell through camera work? Today, we are going to be discussing camera work and cinematography by taking a look at the 2000 film Unbreakable. Heads up, there will be spoilers for the plot of the film, so if you haven't seen it yet, don't ruin the experience for yourself by watching this video. Go watch the movie, then come back. Although it's been out for over 2 decades at this point, I only saw Unbreakable recently. I'm not a great M. Night Shyamalan fan. Before this, I had only seen The Sixth Sense and The Village, both of which were good, but not so exceptional that I felt the need to go watch all his other filmography. I was taken off guard by Unbreakable, however. Although it is basically a superhero origin story, it has a lot more going on than the average superhero flick. Because of the relatively slow pacing and the focus on the emotions that the characters are having, in my opinion, it is to superhero movies what the first Rocky film is to sports movies. Technically it is one, but it doesn't fit all the normal tropes you'd expect. This is a slow, thoughtful, human look at a man realizing that he has an unusual gift. The story's good, the writing is excellent, the acting is top notch, and the visual storytelling is superb. This last element is what really elevates the film. The camera movement, color design, and composition add depth, nuance, and emotion to the story. Right off the bat, we get a taste of this with the first shot of the film. This shot has the camera pan back and forth to the different characters in the scene without cutting, using camera movement and a mirror to show everything the viewer needs to see. This is what is often referred to as a oneer, a shot that lasts much longer than you would normally expect before it cuts. Many filmmakers have used oneers. Spielberg in particular is famous for them, and there are even whole films like Rope, Russian Ark, and 1917 that are either completely oneers or appear to be by hiding the few cuts that they do have. The oneer is not a new or groundbreaking technique, nor is the use of a reflection to show the characters in the scene. But the way Unbreakable uses these techniques is masterful. Oneers are used frequently throughout the film, especially in the most emotionally charged scenes. The opening credit scene on the train, the scene with the gun in the kitchen, and the scene where David takes down the man in orange are all oneers. This creates a feeling of immediacy and reality in these scenes, since time is passing at the same pace on screen as it does in real life. There are no cuts to speed up or slow down the action. This feeling of reality adds to the emotion of these scenes, since it draws us, as the viewer, into the scene and helps us feel the character's emotions more truly. Oneers are also used for some of the quieter conversation scenes, such as the conversation between David and Elijah at the stadium, or the one between David and Audrey in the restaurant. Instead of the flowing camera that tracks the character's actions, like we get in the more action-oriented oneers, in these scenes, the camera just gets closer or farther from the characters. This is no random choice either. The camera movement communicates something about what is happening in these scenes. In David and Elijah's conversation, the camera starts close and then backs off, showing that David is skeptical of Elijah's claims and moving away from him. Whereas in David and Audrey's scene, the camera starts far away and then draws nearer to show the two beginning to get closer emotionally. Whatever camera movement you have in a scene should not be random. It can be mainly functional, such as following a character as they move around, but it is even better if you can use it to add shades of deeper meaning to the scene. This kind of planning ahead and consciously deciding how you can use the camera to help add extra depth to your story will really elevate your camera work to the next level. The color design in the film is also well done. The two main characters each have their own color, green for David, purple for Elijah. This helps give the two a superhero aesthetic, even though most of the time they're just wearing normal clothes, not flashy superhero costumes. Superheroes have their own iconic color schemes, and so do the two main characters of the film. They may be ordinary people, at least on the surface, but they still fall into the recognizable superhero categories. Designing a color palette with different colors for different characters, places, or themes is another way to help elevate the visual language of your film and communicate more ideas to your audience. The visual element that stuck out to me the most, however, even more than the color choices or the oneers, was the composition used for the shots. There are a wide variety of unique and interesting shot compositions in this film, from seeing people through things, between things, and reflected in things. We see things upside down and from odd angles, or partially concealed. These different composition choices influence how we see the scene and how we feel about what we are seeing. Take this shot, where David and Audrey are having a discussion with the door frame physically separating them, giving us as the audience a visual representation of their emotional separation. Or this shot, where we see the room only through a billowing curtain, giving us the same sense of uncertainty and fear that David is experiencing as he searches for the deadly man in orange. Plan your compositions wisely so that they do more than just show what the audience needs to see, but also add emotion and meaning to the scene as well. So remember, use the visual elements of your film to add emotion, depth, and nuance to your story. Use camera movement, color, and composition to tell your story visually while you're telling it through dialogue and action. I'm AJ, and I hope you found this lesson about cinematography from Unbreakable helpful. What is your favorite shot in a movie or TV show? What other lessons about storytelling have you learned from Unbreakable? Let me know down in the comments below, and like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Now, go out there and create stories.